How's it going, guys? Got another Land Battle replay for you. This time it'll be Lenorm on the Demons of Chaos and SOK Ellen Morin on the Skaven. Now, it's been a long while since I've seen this decrepit old bastard Belakor, and honestly, it is kind of refreshing seeing him again, even though I hated him and I desperately wanted to never see him again once the game initially came out and Warhammer 3's Dom was plagued by this obnoxious bastard. But he's here, and he no longer torments my dreams. Now, I just have to contend with dealing with his ugly face in land battle for once. Belakor, what does he have? Shadow Shroud, no surprise. And Melkoth's. He also has his Whispers in the Darkness ability and Lord of Torment, replenishing his health every time he is nearby a unit that is wavering or routing, giving him some pretty good HP regen. Never see it utilized too much, but it can be useful. Whispers in the Dark, removing ITP, which is insane, and -6 leadership. Very, very good against a faction like Skaven, for example. So the Skaven have a little bit of just gotta be careful here. It's gonna be frightening having to deal with that ugly mug of Belakor's. For the rest of the army, we're gonna have the Shrieking Sky Rays, Screamers, ROR. Have some pretty good stats. Aside from obviously 29 melee defense, they have 34, and then they have the massive bonus versus large of 25 with 40 freaking AP. And then, of course, they have the Lamprey's Bite, which is actually, I haven't even seen it been used yet. So I'm assuming it'll be decent. If it's anything like the Chaos Knights, not Chaos Knights, what are they called? The you guys will correct me in the chat. You guys know what I'm talking about. Doom Knights. If it's anything like the Doom Knights bombardment, I'm sure it'll be good. I mean, it doesn't have it doesn't have really much APE, in fact 0%. So, but that doesn't really matter considering they're against Skaven. You're not going to see Storm Vermin, and even then, Storm Vermin don't have incredibly high armor in the first place. But mind that, we have for the rest of the army Blue Horrors, Pink Horrors, the Chromatic Aberration, Blue Horror ROR, which have 360 missile block and the barrier boost, which is pretty nice, replenishing barrier at 4% for 10 seconds. Pretty insane. Some more Blue Horrors, Pink Horrors, one being the Sour Guts ROR. A lot of RORs this game here for the Demons of Chaos side, but they've got to pull out everything they can, right? The demons are not great, as we all know. And they have the Sour Discharge, which has 100% AP, and entities explode upon death. So that means every time you kill a little pink, those little pink fur balls will die, doing some damage to your units. So obnoxious, probably. Plague Toads, how many do we have of those? 2, it seems like, and then a bunch of Flesh Hounds. And then one of them being the ROR Hounds of the Blood Hunt. Pretty insane unit with that Gore Feast. I believe they also have, what else do they have over the standard variant? They have immune to contact effects, which is pretty nuts. And they have the Dampen, which removes magical attacks from units. Though it won't probably play too much into this matchup. But sometimes, you know, if you see the odd sentry barrier here or there, which you shouldn't in this matchup, it'll help. But onto the Skaven side, let's hurry it up real quick. We got the Grey Seer on his bell with Scorch, Unholy Clamor, Warp Storm Scroll, had trouble there, Warp Lightning, and Howling Warp Gale. And then the Wall of Unholy Sound. Really need that Unholy Clamor for dealing with demons. It's just going to help quite a bit. especially with that wall unholy sound. The bell is just, you know, necessary in these matchups with all these fear-causing demons. A bunch of Skaven slaves, no surprise there, and some plague monks in the secondary line. Then we have a bunch of gutter runner slingers. Just to pepper down Belakor. Some Natty Boo Boo sharpshooters. Warplock Giselle's ROR. Do some pretty good damage. They have snipes, so you can't really see them unless you get really close. They're going to get some good shots in on Belakor throughout the match, as long as he doesn't pop that damned Shadow Shroud. We have Gorich as well. Pretty cool unit. I'm glad to see him in here. He's kind of useless sometimes, but he is just so freaking cool. I mean, do you see that model, guys? I love it. One of my favorite models in the game. We have a bunch of Rat Ogres, no surprise. You can't go with the Skaven matchup and not bring Rat Ogres. That's your mass. You need them to tackle any Cav, Plague Toads, etc. Keep any Lords down to beat on them with, or shoot at them with your Skaven Slave Slings. But that'll be it for the infantry side, or rather for the army side for this game. So let's get right into it. The Natty Booba sharpshooters are taking shots in at Belakor, but honestly wasting shots because Shadow Shroud just popped and they're just missing a little bit as he postures back and forth or dodges. Some blue horrors shooting into the infantry, doing a lot of damage to those plague monks. Those poor plague monks are gonna have a horrible day. Plague toads are gonna rush in, get that side charge into those Skaven slaves. Those Skaven slaves are gonna break very soon. Those poor plague monks are having an awful time getting more shots in. A Warp and Gale on top of Belakor, gonna punish him really badly with those Skaven slaves, especially considering his Shadow Shroud is on cooldown at the moment. So, and that missile block chance is helping quite a bit. Although I don't think he has a shield. Yep, so he has no missile block chance in the first place. We're gonna have the Shrinking Sky Rays rear charge the Rat Ogres while the Blue Horrors front charge them, locking them in. But as well, we're gonna have the Rat Ogres rear charge the freaking Sky Rays, so it's just gonna be a whole mess of a battle there. Blue Horrors and Pink Horrors just shooting into these poor freaking plague monks. They need to get into that battle there with the chromatic aberrations because they are just taking free damage. But in the middle here, on the other side, we have the Grays here running through, murdering Blue Horrors, just running over them to death with that chariot. Very nice. Those plague monks might survive for the rest of this match if with that help. Plague monks, Plague Toads are just running over Skaven, but Gorich is here to help, and so are those Rat Ogres. Let's see how that pans out. They're going to do a little bit of help there, but we do have some other Flesh Hounds chewing on some Rat Ogres, and the Sour Guns need to be pulled out, however, so they can continue shooting because they are wasting the damage potential that they could be bringing. Belakor has unfortunately routed off the Natty Booba sharpshooters, the only unit that can really punish units like the like Belakor and even the Sky Rays. Just it's unfortunate, but there's nothing you could do when Belakor exists. She's gonna rout them off. Rat Ogre's coming back, but Belakor has his sights on them, and he's going to probably rear charge them and break them. They only have, what, 30 leadership right now? That's going to falter really quickly. Blues finally dissipate or disintegrate, and now some infantry for the Skaven side is freed up, or rather one of them is freed up, the Skaven slaves, while the other plague monks fight the Flesh Hounds. They might end up winning that. Flesh Hounds only have 15 models left with only 1400 HP. Funnily enough, the Skaven slaves break when they're not even really in that fight. A few models were probably tagged in that fight, but nonetheless, they break because they're Skaven slaves. The Rat Ogres are punting some Pink Horrors, and some Blue Horrors are disintegrating. Flesh Hounds are in here as well. Gorich is providing that nice bonus versus infantry. Just running through some Pink Horrors, ruining those Sour Guts a day. Flesh Hounds are trying their best, trying to chew on Gorich, but Gorich does have that 70 armor, even with that 30 melee defense, and he's got some Rat Ogres supporting him, and same with the Skaven Slaves, along with the Grey Seer of Ruin, so the Flesh Hounds are going to do too great there. Chromatic Aberrations shooting in, getting some nice shots into those Slingers, gonna get them off the field. Hounds of the Blood Hunt are also going to get on top of these Skaven Slaves, and then proceed to get on top of the Skaven Slave Slingers. We have some more Gutter Runner Slingers, however, still sitting idle by. Going to be able to shoot into those Hounds of the Bloodhound. Same with the other Skaven slaves. Oh my god, how many times am I going to say Skaven slave in this matchup? Freaking Skaven matchups. Ah! Anyways, these slaves are chasing after these blue horrors. That's what I just need to shorten it to. It's just slaves. Belakor is coming over. He finished routing off whatever the Skaven had on that side, on that flank. We have some slaves in the back can be pulled in, but they're not going to provide too much. Sky Rays are still up and about. They can come over and deal with some more rat ogres. Belakor doesn't really need any help however. He's just broken those rat ogres with the help of the Hounds of the Blood Hunt. These flesh hounds have finished off these Skaven slaves, making them rout, and I'm back at it again. Slaves have come back. Some blue horrors, or rather the chromatic aberrations, are still up and about shooting. They're going to get some shots into Gorich before he charges them. But Belakor is on his way. Shadow Shroud popped. Ooh, look at that damage gone into Gorich. That really, really sucks. So we're going to have a 13th spell popped on the pink horrors. Very nice. That's going to destroy them. Storm Vermin are also going to come over here, however, while the Plague Monks finish off those pink horrors. The Storm Vermin are going to try to help save Gorich, taking on the chromatic aberrations in with that rear charge. They will only be here for a short amount of time of 17 seconds left, but they can provide a little bit of damage, especially with Belakor being hit by the Warpstone Scroll, which is actually very, very nice, reducing his speed down to 50, giving them time to get a few hits in with Gorich and whatnot, even with the Grayseer with his little punting, hitting more blue horrors than he is a Belakor. Gorich diving in on top of these Sour Guts, doing absolutely nothing there to Belakor, and instead targeting poor little Sour Guts. Not very nice, Gorich. These Sky Rays have been howling Warped Gales, giving the Skaven time to try to shoot at them, but the Slingers have been caught up by the Hounds of the Blood Hunt, even getting into both, which is quite frustrating for the Skaven side. I feel really, really bad for them, but Skaven players, they live for the punishment. They're constantly living in CA punishment, and at this point, they just have accepted it. There's nothing else they can do. However, some Slingers back here have been freed now of the Fleshhound menace, and now can start shooting at Belakor and the Sky Rays. So at least there's that. Scorching Ray on top of the Blue Horrors, gonna finish them off. Gorich is still up and about with 2000 HP. He is tired, exhausted in fact, I believe, but he is up and moving. Some slaves come back as well. So much, look at this. This is the Skaven hope for the rest of this match. Some slaves, a Grayseer on his bell, and Gorich, because these Slingers are not going to last. They're going to get a volley or two in, basically do nothing, and then just run away after taking a little bit of damage. Yep, Milkoff's throwing on top of them, and they're shattered. Sky Rays don't even need to finish them off. But Belakor is just going to finish chasing off these Slingers, try to break them as well. Just give Belakor time as well to heal, which he is healing, I believe. No, he's not right at the moment. I think it was whenever they were wavering. I don't think it's whenever they're breaking. Whenever they've broken already. Whenever they're wavering, he probably got a little bit of healing here and there. In fact, can't see what his heal cap is at right now, but I'm sure he's gotten some heals. This Shrieking Sky Rays getting their barrier back. Good old Zinchian barrier just replenishing while sitting idly by. Love that for me. Thanks, CA. The Skaven player is just going to posture a little bit and start chasing after those Hounds of the Blood Hunt, because what else can they do, really? They're just going to speed up a little bit while both players decide on what to do. I mean, now that there's no other Skaven units to chase, the Warriors of Chaos, or rather the Demons of Chaos player, has nothing else to do but charge them as well. So, let me slow it down. Here we go. Gorich is taking quite a bit of hits from Belakor. Unfortunate for him. It's going to really, really suck. Storm Vermin come out thanks to another dreaded 13th spell. They're probably going to get some shots in on Belakor, but we do have a Sword of Khorne dropped on them. Quite unfortunate. Taking quite a bit of damage from that. Scorching Ray dropped to get on the, maybe hit a few of those Hounds of the Blood Hunt. Do a little bit of damage. Might actually end up breaking them. Down to 19 leadership. Yep, now they are crumbling, disintegrating, and they are gone. So Belakor has to land. This is his only choice. He has to fight the Grey Seer while also taking a little bit of damage from the Storm Vermin, but they are now unbinding, taking damage. And there's nothing he can do about it. He can't push past and go after the Grey Seer because he is now Howling Warp Guild, which is really, really fortunate for this game inside. And the Storm Vermin are going to get some nice damage into Belakor because of it. As long as the Grey Seer doesn't get hit, that Milkoffs is going to help a bit with getting those Storm Vermin off the field. They are binding, and they are finally dead. If we can get another Dreaded 13 spell or something to save the Grey Seer. I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. But what do we have here? Warp Lightning. Yep, try to drop down on him, do a little bit of damage maybe. 2161 did nothing, unfortunately. But we did have that Plague Rash, I think it's called. Musk of Fear dropped to reduce his melee attack for a few seconds there. Unfortunately, both have their wounds effect now, and I think the Grey Seer will unfortunately fall 900 HP, and Mel's cost dropped on them is just going to seal their deal. Belakor, the dread of the Skaven, is going to finish off the Grey Seer, topple that bell, and send him back into his hole. Belakor is back, baby! Yeah, except not exactly, because all he did was beat up a bunch of rats. He's just a big bully. That's all he is. He's an ugly high school bully who just beats up on Skaven. Poor little low-tier Skaven. Like, is that really all you can do, Belakor? To save your name, save your face? I'm just so glad I don't have to see him often. I remember almost wanting to give up on playing Dom against any Warriors of Chaos player just because having to see this ugly, hideous mug that nobody can love. Look at that freaking cone head, man, that dome head. People think Valky is a cone head. Look at that. Look what is going on with there and that disgusting face structure. Vile. Nobody could love that thing. And that's why he's Belakor. 3,300 value. Really smartly played by Norm. 221 kills, 961 value on the Sky Rays. Very good. 800 value here, 500 value your Flesh Hounds galore. Just chewed on some rats all day. 1,000 value, on the Sour Guts. 1,000 value on those Sour Guts, very nice. 967 value on those Chromatic Aberrations. Plague Toads did okay. Probably got ran over by Rat Ogres. And Blue Horse did fine as well. Did I see it? No, 180 value. I thought I saw 1,000 on that. But how did the Grey Seer do? 2,200 value. 800 value for Gorich. Everything else did fine, I suppose, for Skaven Infantry. 200 value on those Plague Monks. 1,300 value on these Gutter Runners. Skaven Slings did fine, paid for themselves like always because they're fantastic, good little boys. And unfortunately, not much value on the Rat Ogres. Quite unfortunate, though, indeed, for the Natty Boobo Sharpshooters being routed off so quickly into the battle. But it is Belakor. What can you really do there with all those Flesh Hounds and Sky Rays tying up your Rat Ogres? You can't protect them much. What are you going to do about Belakor? You just going to watch and fear as he just shreds your snipers apart. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.